Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. About 15 years ago, I got this recipe off Ina Garten's website, and I was so pleased with it. It is so good. I've made it, I don't know, quite a few times. And every time I make it and serve it to somebody, they want the recipe. So I'm going to share it with you, and I hope that you like it as much as I do. The first thing you're going to do before you start anything, now I want to tell you I'm only making half a recipe, which is 6, but the full recipe makes 12, and that's what I'm going to read to you. So in the small bowl here is 2 tablespoons of well, wait a minute, that's not true. 12 tablespoons, which is a stick and a half of butter, and it calls for unsalted, but honestly, y'all, that is such a farce. When you make candy or you make anything, they'll always ask you to add salt, so why not just start with salted butter? There's not that much salt in it. Alright, a stick and a half of butter at room temperature, 1/3 cup of light brown sugar, lightly packed. Now, I didn't use light brown because I had dark brown open. So, this is dark brown in the bowl. These are just the ingredients now. 1/2 cup of pecans, chopped in very large pieces. Well, I had some that I bought in bags that were already pecan pieces, so I'm using them. And 1 box of puff pastry. Let me get the box for you. Now this will take both sheets, but I'm only using 1 sheet because I'm making half a recipe. Alright, so in the bowl I've got the butter and the cinnamon mixed. And she says, and I'm telling you, it didn't work for me. It did not work for me, but I'm going to tell you what she said. She said use a regular size muffin tin. And I did, and it was everywhere. So I bought the larger tins, and to kind of help with the overflow, which she didn't have any. I watched her video. She didn't have any overflow, but I sure did. So you're going to put a tablespoon of this creamed mixture, 1 tablespoon in every, the bottom of every tin holder. So let's just get that done. And if I get too much in one, I'll move it around. Alright, here we're coming down to the nitty-gritty of it. Alright, now, on top of this blended mixture, which she says to do in a electric mixing bowl with the paddle. Well, I did this by hand with a spatula. Can you see getting out a big mixer? I'm sorry, I didn't. So anyway, I add a little more in here. Okay, now on top of this, you're going to add the pecans that are chopped in very large pieces. But I told you mine were already done, so I'm using them. You know, use what you have. Don't run out to the store and buy something special when you've got something that you can substitute. I love this recipe. That's why I don't make them very often, because because they're fattening. This is not what you'd call a low-cal snack, a dessert. But I mean, you know, these are so good in the morning. You could probably put all this together the night before and then pop it in the oven. Oh, wouldn't that be good? All right, so I'm going to just say that this is enough nuts. They should have been measured out, but yeah, I'm not one to do that. All right. So I've got that in there. So now that's prepared. So we're going to set that aside. And here is my one sheet of puff pastry. Do I have you in there? I do now. All right, the first thing I'm going to do, it said melt your butter and let it cool. I let it cool to a place where it's almost solid again. And you're going to spread this on there, leaving about an inch of space all the way around. And when you unfold your pastry, make sure that the folds go from left to right, not backwards, not towards and away from you. They're going to go from left to right. Because you don't want them to split open when you roll this. All right. Now, on top of this, let's see. I got 1/3 cup of brown sugar right here, and 1/3 cup is correct for one sheet. This is going to get sprinkled on. I'll have all of the instructions down below for you. A little piece of dark brown sugar I know is going to be a little hard knot that somebody's going to bite, so I got it out. All right, whoop, spilled some of it. I'm going to kind of move it around and get it more evenly distributed. Still leaving my inch of space. You know, you can move it over. It's not going to hurt anything. Just kind of get it going there, and it'll move pretty good. Try to get it even. Now it calls for some raisins. And what I did was I put my raisins in some hot water and got them plumped up. And it does not call for nuts. But of course I wanted nuts inside. So I just mix the raisins and the nuts together so that when I sprinkle, I don't have to do it separately. And this may turn out to be one plump puff pastry. All right. And if it doesn't, you know, turn out that well because I put nuts in the center, well, I won't do it next time. All right, now beginning with the end that's closest to you. And this is floured, this sheet of wax paper. I floured it. Beginning with the end that's closest to you, start rolling this up. Because you don't want your puff pastry to stick. And you want to roll it as tightly as you can. So I'm getting busy with that. Just keep rolling it. And the ends are going to be uneven, as you can see. And you're going to end up with the seam side down. Whoops-a-daisy. Now look at that. Well, if you all have that problem, just open it back up and shove them back in there. Alright, and we're going to roll over that. Alright, when your seam side is down, you're safe. Okay, now, we're going to cut off these uneven ends. Let me back out some more. We're going to cut off the ends that... I left something out. I sure did. I'm going to have to unroll it. You're going to put, and I hate this, but it'll turn out fine, believe me. You got to sprinkle some cinnamon in there. The amounts will be down below. But you can see it's pretty much evenly done. And when you roll it back up, it'll all roll up together again. I may have some left out of here, but I can put it back in. So isn't it nice to see somebody make a mess out of something and know that you can fix it? Alright, I'm rolling this back up. Putting the fruit and nuts back in there as I roll tightly as I can. Alright, I got my seam side on the bottom and I've got these uneven edges. See that? The other side doesn't look quite that bad, but it is uneven. And you're going to cut each pastry sheet, you're going to cut those uneven edges off, just like I'm doing here. Excuse me. Now we're going to make 6. So I am trying to get in the middle, and then here and here and here and here. Alright, and I told you, preheat your oven to 400. Did I tell you that? Alright, now you've got your little baking tin here. And you're going to put these in just like this and kind of press them down a little bit. And you know, with traditional sticky buns, which is what these are called, they're just dough. They're dough with icing on them, and you bite into it and oh, you just hate to get through that icing because you know that all you've got left is the dough. Well, that is not true with these. And I'll tell you why, because puff pastry is light and you just love eating it. You enjoy it. So I've got all of these filled up now. Push it down. I'm trying to find out how long to cook these. I don't remember. Let's see here. They're going into a 400-degree oven that has been preheated. And you're going to cook them 30 minutes. 30 minutes at 400. Keep an eye on them after like 25, and then we'll be back. All right, we're back. And these are done. Now, I have to tell you that they took the entire 30 minutes. And you only let them cool 5 minutes, because if you wait any longer, everything's going to stick in the bottom of your muffin tin. But they're not done until the top is between golden brown and dark brown. That's when they're done. And when you flip your muffin pan over, some of the nuts and stuff will be down in the bottom. And if you notice how you flip, you'll know which cavity each one of these went in, and you just take a spoon and spoon it back on there. And you can see on here where I've still lifted some up and put it back on because it slides off. But look at this. Can you see that? Oh my gosh. I'm trying to get, I don't know how much of this you can really see. Let me get a plate. Well, that's not a good one. Probably the same kind right here. Let's see. I don't know, I thought they would be better. Show up better, but they don't. So, let's just get one of them. Put it on this plate, and I'm going to give you about as close up as I can get. Now, probably on camera, it looks burned, but it is not, believe me. It's just a dark brown. Parts of it are golden brown. And when you bite into it, you don't get a bunch of dough. You get puff pastry. Everybody loves puff pastry. So, I hope you try them, and I hope you enjoy them as much as everybody that I've ever given them to, served them to. Thank you for stopping in today and spending a little bit of part of your time with me. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, you take care.